What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of In the Longhouse with me, Beard of the North. Hope you've had a good Friday. Hope your week was good. Hope you got a big weekend coming up. Say hello to my guests.
Hello, people.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah. That's kind of what I expected.
Yeah.
The
That's probably how it'll be.
The W1tchsbrew and Justinterpret joining me for a second time. They loved it on here so much they wanted to come back.
That's right.
Dude, I had a fucking blast with everyone last time. I'm excited about this.
Well, I'm glad you guys wanted to come back on. Brew messaged me at one point with one of my other thumbnails I had made for a show, and she's like, "When's your next opening?" It's like, well, we already tried to do this once, so we're going to be able to do it again. You know, before it was Justin can't do it or you can't do it. We tried to figure out, and I told her what day, and she's like, "Sign me up." I said, "Okay, is our Wolf and Justin?" She's like, "Me for sure. I'll check with those two. We'll see."
Mm-hmm. It worked.
And it worked out.
I'm halfway here.
Yeah.
Wolf had an unfortunate accident. So if you hear him speaking a little funny tonight, somewhat of a little bit of a lisp.
Let's not make any bones about it. My mouth sounds like it's full of marbles and shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, he bit his tongue a little harder than he would have liked to.
But
What
he is running a 50% off clearance on his Etsy right now.
is that?
Yes, there's the silver lining.
Yes.
He bit his tongue, caused himself a lot of pain for you guys to have 50% off on his
Exactly.
Appreciate it.
So yeah, a whole half off of his Etsy, guys. Go check him out.
Yes, actually, what I'm going to do is take a second here. You guys can talk. I'm going to put something in the comments here.
Oh, okay.
I forgot. How do we view when someone comes in the chat?
I will bring it up.
Yeah.
I can bring it up.
Okay.
You guys can check it, but it will mess with your screen. You might not be able to see us. We can bring up the chat, especially these two, since they have everybody's on their phone, I'm assuming.
I do have my phone next to me. That's a good point.
So she could watch on YouTube, watch the show, and see who's in the chat. You two, it would screw with your guys' screen. So
Okay.
But I will do my best to bring up as much as I can. But I'm going to make a comment here with all your guys' stuff. Well, except for you, Justin, since you don't.
I guess I could look it up.
Yeah, really good.
I could look it up on my YouTube desktop and just mute the volume on my desktop.
Yes,
you can do that as well. Yes.
If I can fucking find it.
I will create a link for Brew and Wolf on their websites.
Excellent.
Oh, God. Excellent. That's awesome.
That's cool. Thank you. See if I can.
There we go. In the Longhouse. Okay. Excellent. That's awesome. Oh, that's weird. I can hear myself.
Yeah, well, you can hear yourself.
Let me see if I can't find it here.
I should have did this prior to starting the show, but I'm an idiot.
It's all good.
No, you're good, man.
I'll put a comment in just to test it.
I'll take a bite of pasta while you're doing that.
You do that. Savor it.
I will. I will savor this pasta.
I think I found it. Yeah, I found it. Let me mute this shit. Mute. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna get that.
Okay, I got it on my desktop. I just I can see comments. Fuck, I sound like a douche canoe. Trying out for Goonies Part 2. Lost Revenge.
I'll tell you what, man. They better leave Goonies the fuck alone. Don't remake it. Don't make a sequel. Leave it.
See, you just jinxed it.
I did. I'm a piece of shit.
Knock
I know.
on some wood, somebody.
I got the cup. I'm drinking from the cup that you made, so I'll knock on this.
And Wolf can just go like that, and we're good. I said you could knock on wood for me.
All right.
Damn it.
I love this cup. Look at this fucking awesome cup she made.
Aw.
That's all wood burned. Like all that black. That's fucking incredible.
Yeah, that took a while, actually. I think that
I
was back
bet.
when I was using my other burner.
I'm sure this you can tell because the blacks are so consistent. They're so deep. So I can only imagine how long that took.
Yeah, because I mean, I think that's bamboo, right?
Yep.
Yeah. That like you said, I had to like really push on it to get it to burn, you know? So that took me like shit,
That's
probably
not
about
the Tunisian. Oh,
6
sorry.
hours, probably.
Mm.
The Tunisian olive wood.
No, not that one.
I have that one too. I literally almost fell. No, I didn't.
Yes, there it is.
That's this one. The Stein mug. This is so beautiful.
Yeah, that one's. I like the pattern and the wood on that one.
So do I. It's got such a nice grain to it. It's kind of hard to see like this, but it has a beautiful grain inside.
Yeah.
It's a bellissimo, as you would say.
All right. So what I did was put Wolf's Etsy shop and pinned his comment, and I screwed up hers, but the link is in the chat for Brews.
Thank
Etsy.
you. You didn't have to do that. Thank you.
And I will add it to the description later.
Oh, nice.
That if people come back and catch the replay, or if they were like, what was that guy or that chick's website again? They can come back.
Oh yeah.
Check it out.
Hello, everybody.
How is everybody? We'll say hi to some people in here.
Hello, whoever's in here.
Aldemir, good to see you, sir. Curtis, JP, it was nice of you to stop in. E, I know you're not in here anymore, but what's going on, Ken? Good to see you, sir. Stu, I bet it is hot as balls there. What's going on, Ken?
Oh, that's a cool profile. Nice.
Mark Johnson. Eric, how you doing, sir? Brewer, what's going on? Corey, how you doing? This is a new one. How you doing, Jessica?
Oh, Jessica's a sweetheart. We love her.
What's up, Jess?
And then we got Velvet also. How are you?
Yes.
What's up, Velvet?
That was nice of you to say, Corey. What's going on, Vinny? How you doing, sir? Laura Provard.
That's me.
Oh, well, now you all know her name.
That's fine. You can't do much with a name, honestly. Like,
That is true.
yeah.
I like how fancy you made the last name.
There's Noonie.
Oh,
Hey, Noonie.
What's up, Noonie?
do a little bit of a catch up here.
It's all good,
Yep.
man.
On, sir. She has much love for you guys.
Yes.
Jess is awesome. She's such a sweet person.
Glad to see you all in here.
My bullshit.
We have Jessica Kraft as well.
Oh, Jessica C. Hey, what's up, Jess?
How you
That's
doing?
the other Jessica, yeah.
Yeah. I took a nap actually earlier.
Good for you.
I know.
Good for you.
I kind of had to, but it worked out. So
Excellent. Excellent.
I tried to render myself unconscious by ramming my head into the wall, but
didn't work out.
You're obviously here, so
There's too much to get through. You
I have a
know.
hard head.
Yeah.
Oh, Weatherbeard, check out both of their shops. Like, they both make such fantastic things. Like, they're both incredibly talented people. Seriously.
Check out
yes,
his
they
sh-
are.
His shop.
Corey, right now, the pinned comment is Wolf's Etsy shop, 50% off right now.
Yes, 50% off, people. I mean, that's a huge sale.
That is massive. Especially considering the quality of his talent and the materials he uses. That is fucking gigantic. So, treat yourself.
I did. I got the owl stave that he did.
Oh, nice. Nice. The one that was on the shirts.
Yeah, but not on a shirt, like the paper, you know?
Yeah, you got the actual stave print. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was an owl spirit, and what else did I get? A hagstone.
You got it. You got a big hagstone from a beach in Northern California.
Yes. I'm excited.
I'm trying to decide between two things that are quite similar, and I can't, like, I'm indecisive. I'm looking at the cattle vertebra web of weird wall altar or the Loki cattle vertebra wall altar, and I can't decide.
Well, you got plenty of time. The sale doesn't end until the 23rd of next month.
But don't wait too long because shit sells fast.
Especially, yeah. And I've been looking at that for a while, actually. Maybe I'll just get one now and one towards the end of the sale.
It's half off. You might as well.
Seriously.
You maybe do have a whole month. You maybe do have a whole month, but for the amount of people that know Wolf, that stuff will go quick.
For sure.
Quick.
Well, yeah, the reason I'm doing that sale is I did a revamp on the website shop, and I'm trying to get rid of all the stuff that's on sale on the Etsy shop so I can redo the layout of the Etsy shop to match what's on the website now.
Which I think is genius. I think that's a smart move, like keeping the Etsy shop, but mirroring it, you know?
For sure.
Because you still keep certain products on Etsy versus the web shop, though, don't you? Or is this whole revamp going to be like having one, just two different spots?
No, I mean, I don't. The inventory, the categories are going to be the same on the website and the Etsy shop, but the inventory is different. I don't list the same thing on both the website and the Etsy shop because everything I make is one of a kind.
So you won't be making duplicates. You'll be making two different things.
Correct.
Yes, of the same genre. So like
for example,
2 handbags, but they're both different.
If I make like 10 handmade wallets, I'll put 5 on the Etsy shop and 5 on the website.
And those are all different styles.
Yeah.
Right. Those wallets are coming out fucking phenomenal. That one you showed me earlier.
This is the biggest sale I've ever done, period, in the 6.5 years of this business. I've never done a 50% sale.
Yeah.
But I need to get rid of all this shit so I can start on with the next stage of the business.
You're crushing it, honestly. Because that's not easy to do. Like, revamping a website is not easy to do.
It's a lot. It's a ton of work. Like, I can't wait to see the full line of wallets. And also, I have to shout out to those incense burners you made with the blue resin that it looks like a water scene. Dude, holy shit. That is so fucking cool.
If those go well, I'll be making more. That's an experiment to see how well they're received.
What's going on, Chris? Thanks for stopping in, man.
Hey, Chris.
But yeah, Ken, woodworking. I mean, and he doesn't do just woodworking. You know, he's doing leather work. He makes satchels and handbags, starting to do wallets, and it's all handmade. He does a live about once a day where he does live crafting. He'll either do it on TikTok or he has been kind of now and then doing it on Instagram as well.
Yeah.
And I know when he's on Instagram, it's because TikTok put him in timeout. So
Yeah. He's
Fuck TikTok.
mostly on TikTok unless something happens.
Fucking TikTok.
Yeah, it is pretty bad. It's getting pretty bad.
I
That was-
have
Fucking app is a shit show.
Mhm.
I have all but pretty much given up on TikTok. For one, I am sick and tired of when I'm on my For You page. I either see political bullshit that I don't want to see, or I see those fucking NPC lives.
Oh, it's scary. It's
If I
really
see
scary.
Another one of those NPC lives, I'm gonna fucking MIA that fucking NPC straight in the fucking Helheim.
What the hell are these things? Because thankfully, I've been spared of this on my
You've never
FYP.
seen one? You've never
No.
seen an AI live?
Maybe a barely a clip of one, but I like said fuck off so fast I didn't really get a gist of what was going on. Hey, Melanie.
How you
It's
doing, Melanie?
basically just like gifting. You send gifts and they give a reaction and they pretend like they're a fucking robot.
It is literally, there was one that I saw where when I was flipping through, it was a person going meow 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 meow.
Oh,
meow,
you
meow.
saw one of the cats? Oh god.
Oh fuck! I about threw my fucking phone. I was
Dude,
like,
I hope I still have it. I hope I still have that video I took. I legit screen recorded alive because I couldn't believe what I was looking at.
If
Like-
if you did send this to me, please, because I'd like to see.
Yeah, I'll have to see if I still have it. But I mean, this kid was like sad and terrifying to me, both at the same time.
There's this really big content creator that I knew before TikTok ever existed. I found him actually on Facebook years ago. And now suddenly he jumped on that whole NPC live thing. And I'm just like,
Oh boy.
I don't know if I could follow you anymore, man.
I won't. I'm sorry. If I see you doing that shit or in a live, no, you're gone.
nope. And
I don't care
know.
how long I've known you. Like if I see you doing that shit, we're done. You've hidden a part of yourself that I should have been made aware of when we became friends. And yeah.
Dumber. I don't know who's dumber. The people doing these fucking lives or the people that are sending them
both.
the ridiculous amount of money and gifts and all that shit.
That's what I mean. Like if I see your ass in one of those lives sending roses and shit, no, we're done. Sorry.
When you said you've hidden a part of yourself, that cigarette drag went into my kidneys.
I'm sure. I'm serious though. Like no.
I don't even know what NPC means. What does that mean? No pussy central? Like, I mean,
Pretty much. Yeah.
Oh, in NPC in the gaming world, because I like playing games. NPC
Yeah, me too.
stands for non-playable character.
See, I didn't even know that.
whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah.
Non-playable character, and in a game, basically, it's the computer that you come up to and say, "Hey," you try to interact with them, and they just say the same shit over and over and over,
Yeah.
So
or
it's
do
the-
this.
Oh, so it's a character that's not getting any. So
Yes.
it is what I said.
Yes, in a sense, yes.
Yeah. I mean, they make money. Like they make a lot of money. But it's like that's not worth it to me. I'm sorry.
I see some of them that have like, there was one of a chick that has a lot of followers, and she had like 40,000 people watching her, and the
Yeah.
likes were in the millions, and her gift thing was just nonstop.
Dude, they make like fucking thousands a week.
Some of them a day.
Yeah, it's legit, but again, not worth it to me.
Like, all right, I don't. The people doing it, obviously, I can just chalk this up to these people. Like, they'll just do whatever for money.
Right.
But what are the people that are fucking gifting or anything getting out of it? Like, what could you possibly be getting from this?
It's 12-year-olds using their mom's credit card. It's,
I'd rather work the pole at the Rusty Clam Adult Review in Coos Bay, Oregon than fucking be an NPC whore.
Well, I'm not sure what that is, but it sounds terrible.
I think I got the gist of the story from the description.
Long time ago. It happened. I was drunk. We were on a shore patrol. And you don't need to know the details.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. Yeah. Go ahead, Justin. I was just reading the comments.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, like, I think you could point to someone doing that AI live shit and people just gifting them for no reason. You could point to that and be like, here's a perfect example of mass psychosis. Like, this actually exists.
It's easy money and people with no pride. Like, they just.
That's
again,
the thing for me. Is my pride and my dignity could not.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head.
My pride doesn't have a price.
Right.
Ugh.
And I'm sorry, that shit doesn't go away. Like, people are screen recording that shit, and when you're 70 and you realize, damn, I was a fucking moron. Well, guess what? You get to rewatch that shit over and over now. Like,
yeah, some of those fucking twats will still be doing it when they're 70.
Probably.
More than likely.
Yeah, that's a good point. Still, get your life together. Like,
no, you know what'll probably happen? They'll be 70. They'll shit themselves on lives, and people will gift them for it. That's what'll happen.
That'll be the reaction. Like, you'll send a gift, and they'll be like,
"That'll be the new trend."
Yep.
Shitter gifters.
They will. They'll put on a pair of Depends, stand in front of the camera, shit, make a bunch of money, go put on a fresh pair of Depends. This is the future of human civilization.
Yeah. Yeah. Instead of like verbal reaction, it'll just be bodily function.
It will be. It'll just be squeaks and squawk from random parts of their saggy ass bodies.
I'm ready to move to Antarctica.
Yeah, me too.
Let's
go.
I'm ready for the mushroom clouds.
Me too.
That's what I'm ready
Antarctica.
See, that's a step. I could do without mushroom clouds. Just give me something like. This is like a time where I'm like, give me a zombie virus. Like, I don't want nature gone or anything. I just want people gone.
Well, I thought, no, I won't touch on that. No, that's too touchy. Never mind.
I know. I got an idea. We could move to the smallest nation in the world. That's in Oceania. That's the neighboring area of Polynesia, called Tuvalu. It's literally 8 islands, and it is the least tourist place in the world. And it's one of the
That shit was awesome.
Isolated nations, Tuvalu.
He sent me a YouTube documentary on that shit, Tuvalu, and like this kid traveled here, and he gets to the airport, and they're all like barefooted and stuff, like at the airport. It's so fucking cool. There's no ATMs on the island.
I pretty much lived that life. A little bit more modern, but when I was living in the Caribbean, that whole vibe that you saw in that video, Brew, that's how it was where I lived, where I was stationed there.
I'm down with that.
Literally at the tiny airport in St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands, at baggage claim of the one rum distillery that's been on the island for like over 300 years, Crucian Rum. They have a mini bar, and they pass out free drinks while you're waiting to grab your luggage.
Damn. That's awesome.
Hey, thanks for stopping in, Chris.
And what's so interesting about that, in cultures like that, they've done these studies. Anxiety and depression rates are extremely low.
That's because they don't have all the modern bullshit to deal with.
That's
Makes sense.
in the Caribbean where I lived. Like
all they care about is feeding themselves, their family, and fucking. That's it.
I
Keeping it basic, I'm telling you.
I met people that lived all over the world, mainly the US, Canada, and Europe, that hated their lives, hated their jobs, hated everything. And they moved to the Virgin Islands or the British Virgin Islands, and their whole life turned right around.
Yeah.
The first job I had in advertising, the guy that I was friends with, he was the creative director. His uncle was involved in something energy related, and eventually he said, "This is too much stress. Fuck this. I don't want to do this." He fucking took his ass to Alaska. He lived with the Inuits. He met a woman, fell in love, and like loved his life from then on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I can't get out of this stink hole, I might just sell everything and move to a small island, Polynesia.
Yes, you should at this
You'd
point.
probably be happier.
Because I mean, with the Polynesian shit, like that's a very strong connection with you. So to live there, like that would be fucking amazing.
Well, I got to experience firsthand Polynesian culture, which I was already felt like comfortable many fucking years ago.
Did you eat their food and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what that's like.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Like
the food of the gods.
Like I told you before, when I lived in the Caribbean, I was stationed there for about 4 years. 95% of my diet was fish, seafood, fruits, vegetable, and like some grain, rice, and pasta. I rarely would, and if I did have meat, I'd have like maybe a steak now and then, or like Caribbean jerk chicken. But
Ooh.
You know, I could move to Polynesia and be fine on their diet. I mean, that's not all they eat, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, that sounds delicious.
Mm-hmm.
And really healthy, honestly.
How you doing, Ellie? And I saw
Ellie.
you, Russ. Thanks for stopping in, you guys.
Sandy.
Sandy says hello.
Hello, Sandy. I hope old girl's doing good.
True, Weatherbeard.
It is. It's very true. We're still like, people don't realize we're animals. We got to move.
Jellyfish just came in. Camouflage.
Oh, hey, Jellyfish.
Come on, camouflage.
Hey, Jellyfish. It's interesting. All the Polynesian stuff keeps coming up with you, because earlier I was actually looking at my my Polynesian inspired rune set that you made that I won at the raffle. That
I got more Polynesian nautical decor planned and Polynesian inspired jewelry planned.
excellent.
Ooh.
I'm even
See witchy goodness?
I'm thinking about even doing like a Polynesian inspired handbag.
Yeah. That would be gorgeous.
Fuck yes, man.
That it would.
Your uncle just sold everything.
And moved to
Oh,
Oh, that's awesome, Ken.
that's rad.
Yeah, he lived through that whole wildfire down in Maui.
Wow.
He said it was quite insane.
I bet. But to teach history, like that's awesome. I'm a history freak.
Like how he's in Polynesian studies and what he said earlier about Polynesian women, they're average.
I saw that, yeah.
I served,
Yeah. And then he's like, I teach history. I'm like, oh, okay.
I served with a number of mostly men that were of different Polynesian descents from the various islands during my Coast Guard career. And some of their family lived on the mainland, and they were always just like really fucking friendly and cool to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you are a very likable guy.
Very. I mean, you are so approachable, and I mean, you just light up the room when you walk in.
That was sarcasm.
Person.
No, that's seriously though, like that's a once in a lifetime experience, and you've had so many of them, that most people will never have.
I know I never will.
Yeah, probably me neither, like.
Well, the best was the Samoa. My experience with the Samoans and what happened there with the tattooing and the whole thing.
Didn't you say that you had to? Didn't you go into some kind of like a steaming hut or something?
No. Basically,
Something
we
like
just
that.
got down together, and they wanted me. Like for 4 hours, I was telling them my life story. And this is like about 20.
Thank you, Weather.
And then based on that, then that tattooing began, where it was, I guess, called upon them that my Samoan spirit animal or oceanic Polynesian spirit animal is the manta ray.
Ooh.
And then they did layers and layers within the tattoo. I was laying on the bamboo mat. They had me in traditional dress. She had her spread people. They had music going, drums, and then we feasted afterward. It was one of the most amazing spiritual experiences of my life.
I don't doubt it. That's fucking incredible.
It basically, like, in not so many words, said that I was, part of the Samoan family, if you will.
Well, they weren't wrong.
Did you get to witness a hake when you were there?
That really sparked me with what was this, with that connection that I've been really interested for the past 20 years with Polynesian culture and all of that.
Did you get to witness a hake while you were there?
The what?
The hake?
No.
No, you didn't get to see one of them?
No, they didn't do that. It was actually pretty, how would you describe it? The vibe was very, you'd have to have lived island life to understand. It was very island life is the only way I can describe it.
Do they have an accent? Like, is it a really strong accent?
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I haven't met many Samoans, so,
Yeah. Well, I've met Samoans, Tongans, Native Hawaiians, Fiji, and many, many more throughout not just Polynesia, but Oceania. Because it's not just Polynesia, they call it the Polynesian Triangle, which is bullshit because it's more like a polygon. But the Polynesian polygon is basically like South Central Pacific Ocean. But then you also have bordering that Micronesia, which is another collective of little island nations. And then you have Oceania, which is another collective of little island nations. And that makes the majority of the Pacific Ocean nations. Polynesia, Micronesia, Oceania.
Okay.
And the biggest nation part of Polynesia is actually New Zealand, the Maori.
Gotcha. I did know a woman from New Zealand once.
Yeah, New Zealand is also part of Polynesia. I actually have a friend that I was stationed with during several of my tours of operation during Freedom. When she retired out, when she got out, her husband, who was in the Navy, also got out, and they expatriated to New Zealand.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome.
You know what's so cool about that, dude? That was like you really took part in living history. Like, this is a cultural tradition that remains unbroken, stretching back so long.
In Polynesia, and again, I'm a little. The history of their tattooing goes back thousands of years.
It does, yeah.
I can't remember the numbers. Like, this is through like archaeological and stuff, but I believe it's either 3,000 or 5,000 years. It's something like that. It's a very long time. Because like the Polynesians, their history of those islands, I think it goes back to around what's known as, I think, like 5,000 years. I have a book on this in my Polynesian library, but I think it's like, I think the first known archaeological evidence of the Polynesians existing in Polynesia is about 5,000 years ago.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right. It was a long fucking time. Like,
Don't quote me on that because I could be fucking wrong.
That's such a cool thing that I can't imagine how awesome of an experience that is, especially now when like so many people from all different cultures are trying to reconnect with their ancestral heritage. So much has been lost or whatever. And you actually got to take place in something that's so, like I said, it's living history. That's so fucking awesome.
It was the most incredible cultural, I should say, it was the most incredible cultural experience of my life, bar none. And that wasn't the
Fucking
only
awesome
cultural thing that I've experienced, because I've been, to a number of other countries and stuff and got to experience some cool things. But yeah, I am planning in the future of continuing doing more blog posts regarding Polynesian folklore, Polynesian mythology, stuff like that.
nice. That's going to be awesome. I can't wait to read those.
I was just gonna. That'd be a good time to mention not only his shop, but he has an amazing blog that has. It's such a fantastic resource for all different, polytheistic things from all different cultures, like and folklore, and it's fantastic. And she is a frequent contributor to it, a guest contributor to it. She just put up. There were 2 amazing posts, one on the moon and one on candle magic. So.
Yeah.
Go check out the blog. Read all the goodness.
I'll have to figure out what I'm going to send next.
How you doing, Kyle? Thanks for stopping in, man.
He isn't far off. I didn't think I was too far off on that. I'm no expert, but I've been studying that culture and stuff for off and on for, like I said, 20 years.
That's a long time of study, for sure.
I appreciate that, Kyle. Supposedly Melanesian in my ancestry.
What's
cool.
funny is that one of my closest friends, I call her Tiny, that's a nickname, but Zoe, that does Metal Weaver Creations. She grew up as basically an island girl. She actually grew up in the Marshall Islands, the U.S. Marshall Islands, which, if anybody knows about the U.S. Marshall Islands, they're fucking tiny, like very, very, very small.
Yeah.
And I actually almost got stationed. I was this close to getting stationed in America Samoa.
I remember you mentioning that, but it didn't happen, did it?
No.
Yeah.
Then they were going to send me to Auckland, New Zealand to be part of a support team for the Polar Breakers. And then finally, then they were going to send me to a brand new fast attack patrol cutter. And then finally they were like, you know what? We want you to commission a unit in the U.S. Virgin Islands. And I was like, the U.S. what? And they're like, yeah, you're going to the Caribbean. I was like, oh, well, fuck, here we go. And it turned into it was supposed to be like a 1-year tour. 4 years later.
Yeah. 4 years later.
Dude, there's a number of cultures that do hand poking tattooing. That's how it started.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, very intricate and spiritual practice. I love that kind of tattooing. And people ask me, do I do stick and poke? And I'll tell them no, because that's, to me, that's something that's what you do, You
spend a lot of time practicing and mastering that.
Years and years and years. Yeah.
Stick and poke is also something that was traditionally done later on in a lot of Northern European countries. And it was something that was really refined and done a lot in Iceland.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have a friend that is strictly a stick and poke tattoo artist in Iceland. And she gets booked up like months and months ahead of time. And even she gets booked and travels to different places all across Northern Europe and Scandinavia because people just smoke. And her,
we'll see. That's what I'm saying.
It's a stick and poke. And her expertise is like Nordic Scandinavian style. Like she has a lot of like petroglyph kind of styles.
Ooh.
That's fucking awesome.
What's going on,
Hey,
Tyson?
Copper.
Thanks for stopping in, man.
Hey, Copper.
Do any of you familiar with Northern Oak or Peter Oakman?
That sounds familiar to me.
Tattoo artist over in kind of in the Scottish Irish area.
Yeah. That's why I knew that name. I'll have to catch up on him, honestly, but I do know who he is.
Oh, yeah. I actually have that book. I know who
You
you're
do have?
talking about.
Yeah.
I follow him on TikTok.
Yeah.
He was running that sale and I got all of his books.
I only have that one.
Nice.
I got all the books for all the art and everything, plus the sigils and runes and everything, so that I could learn.
That is fucking awesome.
I was all excited about getting that book, and then I came across this Volume 1 and Volume 2 series about the spiritual meanings and construction and the art of Polynesian tattooing, and I bought those right away, and I was even more excited about that.
Yes.
You in your library, you have books that
I do have a big library.
You got a little bit.
I have to get bookcase number 7 because I got shit stacking up.
Bookcase number 7.
Yeah.
7?
Yeah, like 6 foot. I need one that's about 6 foot tall by like 4 feet wide.
Damn. I don't know where you find the space. It's like space just appears on his walls, his shelves. Like he always has room somehow.
I can play Tetris with my fucking living room.
You do, and you're doing a good job.
What's going on, Gary?
Hello.
Thanks for stopping in, sir.
Hey, Gary.
Start hanging shit on his ceiling here soon.
He already does.
Yeah, it'll be like back there. I got shit hanging on the ceiling back there.
Yeah. It's impressive.
I just need a fucking old lighthouse in the Pacific Northwest where I could just be a lighthouse fucking hermit with all my books and tell people to fuck off.
Yeah.
You just need the lighthouse. That's all you need. You got everything else down, Pat.
About 2.5 million.
How much?
2.5 million.
Damn.
There's a lighthouse for sale, a working lighthouse for sale in one of my favorite coastal towns in Oregon.
5 million.
2.5.
Oh, okay. Well, still 2.5 fucking million.
Oh, okay. It's not 5. All right.
Well, I mean, 5 million and 2 million are two very different things. Like,
camouflage, the only kind of hanging furniture I like is not appropriate for probably this podcast.
oh God, it's camouflage. She's coming into the YouTube chat.
I'll tell you.
Shenanigans.
I'll tell you what. If I bought that lighthouse, I would haunt that motherfucker. I'm not leaving. I'm staying as a ghost. Like,
right?
They're gonna be like, there's some weird energy upstairs that plays Super Nintendo when I smell cigarette smoke, and sometimes it farts. I'm gonna go. I'm not fucking going anywhere.
Future.
You'll just see a meatball roll across the floor.
A meatball and a Super Nintendo fucking controller.
Future owners of that lighthouse would be in customs apparition, walking around with no pants and mutton chops, holding a bottle of rum.
The person would hear something in the other room, and then a stuffed possum would just float by.
When I first read this, I read it very explicitly.
I'm sure you did.
Camouflage.
Camouflage mentioned explicitly.
You'd have to be pretty talented to do that on hanging furniture.
That's what camouflage does.
Yeah, and I gotta say, she is brew approved with her speed. Like, she is fast. I respect that. Okay.
Dude, she's a poet. She's like the Robert Frost of sexual innuendo. Like the shit she comes out with, I'm like, God damn.
It's actually good, and it's funny as hell.
It is. It's sharp.
Her execution's like Robin Williams speed.
Yes, I'm here for it. It's great.
I don't know that one, Stu. Sounds like a good one though.
I know nothing about games, if I'm being honest.
Actually, that's a good question, Stu. I don't know if that was missed, but that does sound kind of familiar. That premise.
As he reads, it shapes the world around him. That's kind of fucking cool idea.
You know what?
The only RPG PC game I think I ever played was like back in 1984, and it was that Lounge Lizard Larry or whatever.
Leisure Suit Larry.
I remember that. I never played it, but I know what you're talking about.
Wolf's like the only RPG I ever played had tits in it.
Pretty much. And I was like 6 years old.
6 years old. You were 6 years
Well,
old.
like 6-year-old. 6-year-old Wolf looking at pixelated boobs.
Was I? I don't remember how old I was in 1984.
I forget how old I am. Legit. I asked him one time. I was like, "How old am I again?"
You like?
I'm like, I got you.
I seriously forget.
Brew doesn't. Brew's immortal.
I am, unfortunately. It's not
I remember
fun.
because of my
It's
daughter.
not fun being immortal. Take it from me.
That's what everybody strives for, though, Brew.
They need to get their priorities straight.
Actually, you know what? One of my favorite vampire movies is the original Interview with a Vampire, and I really liked how that approached the concept of immortality.
I forget. I'm gonna have to watch that again.
Is that the one?
It's so good. It's like it basically Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise play the two main characters. It's Louis and
That's what it
Lestat.
is.
And Louis is just like, it's basically about he's immortal and like everything he's lost and all the people who have died and he's still here. Like it's fantastic.
I've heard of. Everybody thinks that being immortal would be the greatest thing in the world, but no.
I mean, logically, probably not. You know.
I mean, if you could have it exactly the way you wanted, where your significant other or your children or whoever, people you care about, were immortal as well. But if you're the only person that's immortal and you get to watch everybody and everything that you love at some point disappears, and you just repeat that process.
I'll tell you.
I can barely tolerate now. I don't want to fucking deal with what's like in 80 years from now.
I was gonna say, like, okay, if that's the person, you better really have an awesome relationship if you're gonna be immortal with this person. Because like we saw what the Rona did to divorce rates, and that was just like, hey, we're stuck in a house for a few months where we can't leave. Like now we're vampires. You better have an awesome relationship.
I wonder about that though. Like,
I'd just be single.
I wonder if you would eventually lose your mind.
Being immortal?
Uh-huh. Like, what would you just go nuts at one point, or would your brain evolve to a point where you could handle infinity? Like,
I think it would depend on the person's personal psyche, because like, you know, there's people that happily live in isolation for years and years and years, and that's what they prefer. And there's others that end up offing themselves.
true. Okay, so
What's going
say
on, Walter?
you have someone with, stable mental health. Would they eventually go crazy anyway, just simply because of no end?
I don't know. You're asking someone who's never been stable, so I don't know if I'm qualified to answer that.
No, it's actually a fantastic philosophical question, because we see what happens to people when the world changes very abruptly, how traumatic that is. Now, if you're immortal, you're experiencing that in infinity.
That too. I was mainly thinking about the fact that we are not meant to live forever.
No.
You know, like we are meant to eventually kick the bucket. So if you just kept going and going and going, I wonder if you would just snap, you know?
I have a feeling.
I see what you're saying.
Good
I
point,
think
though.
like
I agree.
Wolf's, I think
Oh,
like
thank you.
Wolf
You
said-
too. It's a fantastic question.
I think with Wolf, I'm kind of with Wolf on the fact that it would all depend on your psyche to begin with. Like, if you were born immortal, you wouldn't know any different. You know, it's just you get to a certain point in your life where you just stop aging.
Right.
Or if you're like a vampire where you were mortal at one point and then you were turned, and now you have to live with the fact of being immortal. It's going to depend on how your psyche is, because yes, if you're somebody that is a social butterfly, likes being around people, likes talking to people, gets attached to people, you witness all the loss of your friends, family members constantly, it'll probably break you at some point. But if you're somebody that really enjoys being by themselves, doesn't need people, you kind of become numb to the fact, and you probably just become basically a statue in your house.
Right. So losing people wouldn't necessarily be, you know, I think that would be the deal breaker you're talking about, is whether or not losing people affected you.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
But also, it's like, how long could that play out? Because, like, everyone ages. So eventually your secret's going to get out to anyone that you're close to for decades, because they're, like, old and you're spruce moose. And they're like, what the fuck?
Well, I don't
Eventually-
think we were talking about secret immortality, Justin. I don't think that's
this
possible.
this is full blown out there. Everybody knows.
Right.
No, but I meant more like in terms of losing people. Like, you wouldn't necessarily just lose them from death. It could be they would be so freaked out by this that they couldn't do it psychologically.
Good point.
You know what I mean?
Highlanders seem to have it together after 400 years.
I think for me, I don't know. I'm kind of fucking heartless when it comes to human death. It doesn't really faze me. I mean, yeah, if it's a close person, I'll be like, oh, that sucks, but, you know, they're better off than this shit planet. But
No, I get it. I really do.
I've never gotten I lost a number of close friends during my time in the Coast Guard. I didn't go to one of their funerals, not because of I paid my respects my own way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if it's like one of my animals, one of my dogs, that's a whole nother ball game. But I kind of got desensitized to human death at a young age, and then I dealt with it quite regularly during my military career in the U.S. Coast Guard. So, me personally, being immortal, that wouldn't bother me. Truthfully, I'd probably just run amok. I'd run the fuck out of the muck. I'd be giving atomic wedgies to celebrities I didn't like on national TV. I would run through the fucking mirror pond in Washington, D.C. butt naked. I'd cover myself in like Vaseline and fucking flapjacks and just run into a bank and fucking do cartwheels and shit. I just wouldn't give a fuck. It'd be pure.
And jail time is irrelevant because you live forever anyway. So
that's how Wolf gets caught. It's like the mysterious naked man of history. Like, there's a woodcut of Vlad Tepes, and in the background there's Wolf streaking, and then in like a Renaissance, he just keeps showing up in art throughout the ages with his balls out.
Yeah, I mean, if we're doing the whole vampire immortal thing, possibly camouflage, but this is on like a just being immortal yourself.
I don't even know how we got here, honestly.
Neither do I. It's kind of awesome.
Personally, I'd rather just be like a fucking merman or a kelpie and go hang out in the ocean away from all the fucking humans.
Yeah, I think I would prefer to just continue to reincarnate rather than be immortal.
If I reincarnate one more time on this goddamn planet, I'm starting Ragnarok myself.
I'll help.
I will go punch Odin in his fucking one eye. I will kick Frigga in the clam, and I'll be like, "Let's do this."
I have a question for you guys that my brother actually asked me this, and it didn't really like register with me at first until thinking about it at a time. But the question is, if you could, with no repercussions, no fear of anything happening to you, would you unalive somebody?
Ooh, give me a minute. I'll think about it. I'll give you an answer.
What's the context of this? Like, is it
Yeah.
just
If you could,
Anybody?
anybody, no repercussions, law doesn't.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, so you're saying it could be anyone from like anything. It's just like you just get a free pass.
Yeah, you get a free pass, period. You don't have to worry about nothing.
Oh yeah.
I already have a list, so that answers that.
Dude, I would go full fucking Frank Castle. Like,
I am being honest. Like, I think especially like, I mean, fuck, think of all the people who deserve it. Because I honestly think some people do. That's just my personal opinion. That's my personal opinion, but
see, that's the funny part is when he asked me that, I didn't even hesitate, and I told him yes, and he told me that's how you're fucking psycho, because he's like, I couldn't. His own morality in him, I guess. He won't.
Well,
yeah.
Not to sound
everyone's different, man. It's a very core thing, a moral compass, you know.
I think if you have been, I think some people just have never experienced death on a personal level, and that's why they say that, and that's no fault of their own. If you have experienced death, I'll be careful how I say this, but it really, I don't think twice about it.
I had a thought when you said that. I think it depends on how you experience death.
Yeah.
Very good point. Very fucking good point.
I think that's a factor, or it could be.
A lot of me, I think it's how you, like for me, it's because during my life experience, the amount of people that have put a knife in my back that I thought were good friends, that drives me to the point of where, oh yeah, I'd have no problem doing it.
Yeah, I hear
you. See, for me, it's not. I can't think of anyone personally from my life that, given the choice, get out of jail scot-free, you could. I would.
I can.
But I haven't had certain experiences. There are a good number of people, though, that do certain things that I'm like, I could do this. I could take this person out. I know I have that in me.
Tell you a quick little story here where I actually wanted to do that in a bar about 13, 12 years ago. I was at this bar in Pasadena, California, having a drink, actually with a couple of Los Angeles County sheriffs that I was friends with. And we were just hanging out, and there was these couple like college fucking kids not too right along the way. We're out front balcony having cigarettes and shit. And I had mentioned just briefly to one of my friends about, when I was overseas. This fucking little silver spoon twerp comes over me and says, "So you've killed people, huh?" And I'm just like, you know, this is really none of your fucking business. I shit you not. this little fuck puts his hand on my shoulder, leans in and says something to the extent of, I feel you, man. I've been there. I play Call of Duty. Now, whether he was being sarcastic or not, needless to
Doesn't
say,
matter.
I introduced him to the floor real quick. And
Good for you. He deserved it.
if it wasn't for my two sheriff buddies, I probably would have caught a felony, but I knew the bartenders and the bouncer and all that. But I hurt that guy.
Good.
Yeah, and you know what? You know what the irony is, and I'm not saying that's the angle this douchebag was coming from, but all these people that take a very high moral pulpit, I never do this. I'm like, you know what? When society takes a shit, you're the first fucking one that's going to take advantage. People that say, I would never do that. Oh, you wouldn't do that now because there are rules.
Those are the same people that say not in my backyard, but when it comes to it, yeah.
What's going on, Rob? Yes, my crickets are back. I saw my toad today. He's got a lot of work to do.
I still. Who is this toad? I love frogs and toads. I need to know. I need deets. Give me the deets. Give me the
shit ever.
Give me the toad deets.
You don't know the old tradition of that?
No.
No.
I have.
Don't hold out on us.
I have an old school concrete basement, and that's where my cave is. That's where I'm at now. I get a lot of crickets. Well, an old thing that like my grandma used to do in her old dirt fucking basement is you would take a toad, big old fat toad, and put them in the basement.
Genius.
And they go around, they eat all the pest bugs, get rid of the crickets and all that shit. And I put him down here last year, and he's still down here. I saw him yesterday or this morning.
He's been down there a whole year?
Yep.
Damn.
So what happens when they eat all the crickets? You put them back outside?
Nope. There's in my what's my well room. He goes down in the drain.
Ah.
And then he comes back.
He comes back for the food. Yeah.
No, he's got a fucking toad doggy door.
Pretty much, yes.
You need to build like a little like gnome house by the drain. Like, cottage.
Yes.
Does he have a name? Does the toad have a name?
Actually, my daughter brought him down here, and she just named him Toad.
Toad?
Call him Toad.
Awesome.
I was
He does
sitting on
need
the
a house.
I was sitting on the couch watching TV, and I just happened to lean down to pick up my soda, and I look over I have some chest freezers over here. I was looking down, and I look up just a little bit, and there's a cricket sitting there, and the toad is sitting about a foot away from him, and they're both just staring at each other.
Like a
And
cartoon.
I actually took a picture of it and sent it to my wife. And I sent it to my wife and said, the tension down here is so thick you can cut it with a butter knife.
It made me think of like the toad is looking at the cricket like the last piece of pizza, and the toad's like, if I eat this, I'm going to shit my pants, but I think I'm going to take the gamble.
You should
That
make,
is hilarious.
you should make like a little mini wizard hat or a witch's hat.
I'll be back in 2 seconds.
See, we'll like dress it up.
Dress him up. Yeah.
I like the house over the drain idea. That's adorable.
I'm
Yeah,
telling you. Yeah, make a little hobbit house around the drain, and then do a photo shoot with the toad wearing a little wizard hat.
I could do this. If I was your neighbor, I would totally do this for you.
Make a
I'm
little
good at
tiny,
it.
little tiny little wizard hat. And
Yep.
put it
I'm
on.
good at photography too. I'll make it legit. Like,
Brew could do a photo shoot of that.
I could.
Yeah, it was. The first 2 years we lived here, and I would be down here, and it'd just be just nonstop hum of the cricket noise, and it was just okay. My spiders need to start doing some shit.
Yeah.
It dawned on me one day while me and the kid and the wife were outside on the porch, and there was a toad that hopped out from underneath the deck, and my daughter freaked out, and she's like, "What is that?" And she ran over and picked it up, and I was like, "That's a toad." And then I was like, "Brilliant idea," because it brought me back to my grandma doing that way back when I was
genius.
I'm surprised the toad hasn't brought friends. They're like, "Hey, I got this underground nightclub. There's all you can eat crickets. There's a crazy human with a beard, but you know, we got fucking crickets."
Yeah, we got crickets, and he leaves us alone. He doesn't bother us. We don't bother him.
Yeah, free cable, you know.
I'd bring the lady toads back there if it was me. I'd be like, "Hey, you want to go to my fucking pad? I got crickets. Humming.
I got crickets.
You want to make some tadpoles tonight?"
Oh,
I got something special for you, girl. I got
You can
crickets.
wear my wizard hat while we do it.
Oh,
Wow, this
man.
escalated quickly, or this de-escalated. We're tumbling.
That's how I roll.
Yep.
I was born in the gutter. You really saw it.
Did you hear that, Justin?
I know.
Oh my God.
What
Probably the best, honestly.
really? Like would you switch places with me if you could?
No, you can rewatch the live.
I'm sure I will. I'll go back and rewatch.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that helps there too.
That's the thing,
Chickens.
though. If you said your basement is concrete.
Yep.
Yeah, I love concrete basements, though. It's so nice and cool down there.
Can't
Yep.
believe- I bet that toad probably was scared first, and then realized it had like endless fucking crickets, and it didn't have to worry about any predators. It was like, yeah, this is my new digs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's
That
the fact that he
toad
comes
be
back.
walking, like you're gonna see a little camera crew. That toad's gonna be walking around with a crew from MTV, like Cribs, showing off its fucking new pad. This is where I bring all the toad bitches.
I'll tell
Next
you
time
what, that's good reincarnation karma. Like it's like, here, I'm gonna bring you into the school, but just eat. That's all you have to do. That's good. You're just gonna eat all the time. I'm sitting here working like a fucking asshole.
That'd be
The
like
only-
if some giant grabbed Justin and put him into a cave and just had endless meatballs and fucking cigarettes and coffee.
That would be amazing. They were like, look, there's these creatures. It's like coffee cups and meatballs with legs, and they're running amok. And I'm like, I'll fuck these things up.
It's like, these meatballs have no idea I'm about to read them their last rites.
Like I will fucking go. I'll be like, I will be the most loyal, I don't know, giant pet, whatever. I will eat everything.
The only complaint that I have about him being down here, though, is every now and then when I'm down here, if I got to go over by the cellar or by the well room because our dryer's over there, giant fucking pile of shit from the toad.
Well, it's all them crickets. Like he has no self-control at this point.
What do you expect?
There's no consequences.
You unleashed a fat guy at a Vegas all-you-can-eat buffet for free. Of course, there's going to be a lot of Duke happening.
It's like you have a slimy Augustus Gloop in the basement. There is no consequences. It's just like all you can eat, and I'm just gonna leave a pile of shit on. I would do the same thing if I was the toad.
This toad clearly has declared that place his, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna eat crickets, and I'm gonna shit right over there.
Yeah, like you don't even have to inconvenience yourself. You just go poop in a corner, and then it's gone. The giant took care of it.
I don't gotta worry about cleaning up. The big bearded bastard's got that shit. Come on, ladies. Let's go make tadpoles.
you know what's gonna happen next week? Beard's gonna find me in his basement in a toad costume, shitting in the corner, and he's like, Justin, I'm calling you guys.
Oh man.
I'm gonna be like, I just want a good life.
Oh.
Justin, I get up in the middle of the night tonight and you're in a goddamn toad onesie squatting on my couch. I'm just saying.
That's how I just disappear. And no one, and you'd be like, well, Justin was a good friend for a little while, but then he dressed up like
you would
he dre-
be
he dressed up like a toad with an ass flap cut out, and he shit on the lawn, and now just Justin had to go away.
Now he
Justin
just
over here
identifies
fucking
as a
the
toad.
street walking like one of the toads from the Budweiser commercials.
maybe like what we were talking about last night, Justin, and how genetics would like basically you would die off for the betterment of humanity. Nature would be like, nope.
Nature was like, this had to happen. We can't just have him out there spreading his genes. We're making an executive decision.
Come
Right
on.
now,
Ken.
Mother Nature's watching this live.
Oh.
I can't with evolution.
Oh. That was so good. I'm literally crying from that.
That's what I thought of. Like, because we were talking about that literally last night.
I know, it's so funny. It's so funny. And how, like, that was such a deep philosophical conversation, and that bridged into me dressed like a
It
toad,
was.
shitting
So
on
for
Wolf's lawn.
Everyone who doesn't know the backstory, Justin and I were basically talking about, what was the family? Fuck.
Oh, not the Whitakers. It's that West Virginia. It's from, was it the Whitakers from Soft
I
White
think
Underbelly?
so.
Okay.
Yes. It's basically like incest, right? And it's actually like a freak accident with twins marrying twins and stuff like that. But we were talking about how some of them had passed due to genetic deficits, you know, and I had touched on how really that makes sense as far as nature goes, you know, and like genes and like the survival of our species, you know. So when
Absolutely.
you mentioned that, I thought of that.
I like how, like, in that scenario, Wolf becomes like the hand of the gods. Like, we're taking this out of the equation. I'm like, remember me as I was. Full of life and shitting in a corner.
I'll have to remember the next time that I'm down here and he comes out, I'll have to take a video and narrate it, and then I'll send it to you.
Definitely.
And I'll tell you what, if he has a cigarette in his mouth, that is me skinwalking. Leave me be. I'll be good to you. I
Well,
promise.
he could send you the video and you could put a cigarette in it somehow.
There we go. But I think I'm going to do this.
You could.
I could. I think I have to. Everyone just coming in is like, why is this guy with the fucking mohawk talking about shitting in people's basements?
Oh, we've talked about worse.
Follow me for life advice, everyone. I'm a role model.
God,
Exactly, camouflage. So with that family, basically it was like siblings, you know, research it. It's actually really interesting how it happened.
Family trees are not meant to look like hopscotch squares. You think it's going to branch off, but then it comes back together in the end.
Wow.
I'm just saying, they shouldn't look like a hopscotch square. If your family tree looks like a hopscotch square, you need to branch the fuck out quick, or you're going to end up with a third eye looking like the fish.
Well, like I said, it's interesting because where they are, there's not many people.
We were talking about that too, how isolated they are.
Mm-hmm. Blood related to the wild and wonderful whites of West Virginia.
Can't put this.
Trunks, branches, you'll have some interesting kids.
Oh boy.
This is true. I mean, you can look about how some of the fucked up tales of the lineage of some royal families. Like,
Yes.
Keeping the bloodline pure.
Yeah.
Well, that's
many tales of true genetic anomalies, disfigurements that happened in royal families because of them keeping the bloodline pure.
Mhm.
it's true. That's
They didn't know how genetics worked, or did they just not care?
A little bit of both, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you look at like English royalty to this day, and they look like they got hit with a hot bag of what the fuck. But then you look at like Welsh people, and they weren't inbreeding; their ancestors weren't royalty, and like everyone's so attractive. And then you look at the English like aristocracy today, and like they have an ear on their back, and I'm like, I don't care how rich you are, absolutely not.
Some of them look like they eat corn on the cob through a chain link fence.
Yup.
Like, which eyeball are you looking at me with? Because I can't tell, because you look like one of them googly eye fucking stuffed things.
Oh my god.
Googly-eyed stuff things.
It's bad that I knew exactly what he was talking about.
I'm also,
I just realized how much I have gone in with Seawolf. There's no return. There's no coming back.
no, I am like a maelstrom at sea. Once you get caught in my whirlpool, you're fucked. You're down in the
Yep.
deep. You're in the Kraken Hotel.
Damn, Camo.
Ew.
Well,
You want a googly-eyed stuffed thing?
I think Beard's impressed camouflage.
Hot, wet bag. So like you want him to overheat and then dip his bowels in some water and
If your sister is the only one.
good gracious.
Welcome to the chat, people.
Hi, good evening, fine folk.
I agree with what Big Stu just said. Some of the creepiest ghosts are in England, in like castles, like aristocracy ghosts, and they all are like buck-toothed, lazy eye, all cooking shit because they're all fucking inbred. So you have a bunch of inbred fucking royal ghosts in the castles of England and Scotland and shit. Like most here in the United States are pretty mundane. You have like the lighthouse keeper or the hotel manager, but you go to England, you find the ghosts, and fuck's sakes, they look like they got hit in the face.
That's a great point. I never thought of how bad that type of ghost would be to be that. Because it's not like you're a ghost who's like Ryan Gosling, where you're like, I can just hang with this fraternity. Like you have a hunchback and a club foot, and you're like 3'5".
I mean, that's much more scarier. I believe in the paranormal. I've seen apparitions and shows. It's like, what's up? If I saw one of them fucking like, Bartholomew Maelstrom III of Duke of fucking Westminster, who's all like, hey, I'd be like, what the fuck?
I'm so glad we're not.
It's like in that situation. What would happen though if you saw a ghost like that? Like if it's got it's got a lazy eye and it's got a hunchback and its little wiener's half hanging out of its pantaloons. Are you like, am I scared? Do I feel bad for it?
No, I would just be like, man, I'm so sorry.
A little bit of drool out of their cleft lip.
I'd be like, do you need a door? Do you need a way to pass?
Brew would be doing like fucking interventions in castles in England. She'd be like,
let me just get this over with for you.
What's going on, Richard?
You are horrifying looking. I'm sorry that your parents both had the same name before they got married. Let me handle it.
So the entire royal family in Hawaii is inbred?
Oh, wow. Okay, then.
If I remember right, in a lot of the Polynesian culture with the royalty, if you will, like in England and other parts of Europe, basically like the king or the monarch would choose like which cousin or even sister or brother they would marry. But I believe in the Polynesian culture and a few other cultures, they would want to keep the bloodline like pure, but the person got to choose who they were betrothed to. So there was a bit of free will going on instead of like in England where, King Charles would be like, no, you're gonna marry your fucking cousin, Duchess of whatever, and you don't have a say in it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
If you had free will, I mean, I still don't think I would choose my sister.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like you have to do this, but you can choose how you do this kind of thing.
You get to pick which sister instead of we tell you which one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that's terrible. I'd be like, this is a ruse. What version of me in a wig do I want to marry? No.
Right.
Yeah, I'll just put some lipstick on a cup and call it a day.
I'd be like, my weenie doesn't work. I'm not doing this.
I'll go marry a fucking palm tree. Like, I'm good. This is my palm tree. We're now in love.
My palm tree.
It
Stu?
sounds like the current top search is on you.
Stu, you might want to delete your fucking search history, man.
Yeah, I don't know what I mean, everyone's got a fucking thing.
He's like, no judgment.
Oh yeah, I actually have. It's interesting because one of my fucking books in my Polynesian library talks about the lineage of the Hawaiian royal family.
Oh, that's cool.
And so, what official Ken they're saying, I recognize what some of that stuff that he's talking about in that concept.
Okay. That's fucked up.
Yeah. That is fucking wild.
But I guess in those certain cultures like that, I mean, you don't know any better.
True.
So you got to also remember, unlike the whole of Europe, where there were like monarchs that were related, but were kings of different countries and queens of different countries. Like there was relations between like England and like the crown of Germany or of Sweden or whatever. Polynesia is, a small collective of isolated nations across thousands and thousands of square miles of Pacific Ocean.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll put it in modern terms. We had a saying in the Caribbean. Don't take this in any bad way, people. The term was, you didn't lose your girlfriend or you didn't lose your boyfriend. You simply lost your turn because you're on a very small island with a very small. St. Croix is 26 miles long by like 8 miles wide, 12 miles wide.
Okay.
Yeah, I think these Polynesian islands are actually relatively small. So it sounds fucked up, but it's true. I mean, I had a number of girlfriends while I was living in the Caribbean, and I had a number of friends that become close that had dated them as well. And then just, and this isn't like a misogyny thing because it happened with the women too. Like the women, we joke, you didn't lose your boyfriend, you lost your turn. So
it's funny.
Yeah.
Island, the whole construct of island life is so much different in every way than on mainlands.
That makes sense.
Hey, Travis, how's it going, sir? Thanks
It
for
stopped
stopping in, man.
after, yes, it did. That's right.
Okay.
So, it's just, it's not looked, I mean, even in like the monarchs in England, I mean, you had the mundane people who are like, man, they're marrying their cousins and shit. In some of these other more isolated cultures, it wasn't looked at anything other than just another day on the island,
We don't really have a choice in some sense, we don't have a whole lot of option.
I mean, yeah, there was trade and they would navigate, but it wasn't like there was some regulatory highway system where they were going regularly to other islands to go chase tail. I mean, it just wasn't how it is because you're talking about, hundreds of miles between each islands of the different places and stuff.
Yeah.
We went from immortality to Justin being a skinwalker toad to inbreeding.
Yep.
I mean,
Well, here we are.
You were like, you didn't lose your girlfriend or your boyfriend. You lost your turn on the private parts merry-go-round, and I was just sitting here eating pasta, like. Sensational. So where do we go from here?
Don't ask me.
Well, let's see here. We talked about toads, immortality, skinwalking, pooping in a basement, and royalty breeding.
A smorgasbord of class.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm-
Class.
How's it going, Wiley? Yeah, you're right.
I am a classy fucker. I
Mm.
drink my pinky up sometimes.
Yeah, like Ken said though, that fire down there took all that history.
Damn.
I want to
That's-
Man.
subconsciously, I'm like on this new hoarding thing of getting every good book written about history and mythology and folklore and stuff of the Polynesian cultures. I'm literally started a new section in my library. I got almost 24 books now, and I've got like 30 some odd queued up to get over the next few months.
Damn.
Nice.
I'm probably gonna have a single bookshelf that's just gonna be on the Polynesian culture and everything about it.
That is fucking cool.
At least that's my goal.
The ones you have so far are awesome. That
Oh,
one had that colorful like art on it.
The new one I got of the one about the Polynesian mythology,
Mm-hmm.
the one I showed on the live. Yeah,
that one's gorgeous.
that book's fucking amazing.
I'll have to pick your brain on stuff for Celtic history, like in Scotland and
I got
Ireland. There.
books on that. I got books on that. I got some blog posts on that. Some I'm planning too, as far as Celtic stuff.
Nice.
That's where my heritage actually is
Oh, yeah?
rooted at.
I got actually my next blog post isn't solely on Polynesia, but it's about the folklore, mythology, and spirit animal meanings of sharks.
Ooh, I've been waiting for that one.
And
Very nice.
I'm going to tell the spiritual story about my encounter with the School of Hammerheads in the Caribbean on the shipwreck dive.
Yeah,
That is a good story.
it
That
is.
That was one of the most amazing experiences with marine life that I had with the hammerheads. And the hammerheads is also one of my other spirit animals, which I also have tattooed on me. Hammerhead shark is my other ocean spirit animal. And I found that out even before that happened, like back in fucking like 1998 with the hammerheads.
Oh, okay.
That happened about, I think, 5 or 6 years before the manta ray one happened.
Oh, that's a while.
Yeah.
5 or 6 years between.
Yeah, about that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm big in the sharks. So yeah, I'll be doing a big blog post about that next, probably sometime next week. Because we
Sweet.
just did a double header between the one I did and Brew's latest one. So give it like a week or so.
The orca, you did one on the orca.
Ken, I grew up in the Pacific Northwest where the orca is a part of the native culture and is embedded in Pacific Northwest life. You can't go pretty much anywhere without seeing orca art, orca totems. The orca is a very sacred animal in the Pacific Northwest, Oregon, Washington, British Columbia. And I did a huge blog post about the orca on my blog post, and actually Brew in here. That's how she discovered that the orca is one of her spirit animals.
Yeah, that post is excellent too. It's just packed with information. Like it's a big one.
That blog post was very special to me because growing up as a kid, like I said, in the Pacific Northwest, orcas are like entangled into the culture and the lifestyle in Oregon, Washington, and British Columbia.
Yeah.
And like I did, I featured that blog about that.
Right. That was one of my favorites you've done, I think, so far, was the orca post.
Yes. Yeah. See, Jessica Van, she's also from the Pacific Northwest, and orcas are huge. Yes. Jessica can concur because Actually, I lived in the town across the river from Jessica when I was a teenager. So
Yeah, go figure.
orcas are huge in the Pacific Northwest. Very, very much so.
But she apparently loves llamas.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think
Yes, she does.
I might have to do llama spirit now. You know, llamas are really big in, you know where llamas are really big in mythos and folklore? South America with the Mayans and the Incas.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's true.
That makes sense.
You can find artwork from the Mayans and the Incas in ancient ruins of llamas. Like that was a big thing. So maybe I'll have to add llamas to my spirit animal series at some point.
Yes.
Oh,
That's
you
cool.
know what, Ken? I do mention them in the blog post also. The Haida ancestors. What Official Ken just said there, that's actually in the blog post also on orcas.
Yeah, if you guys haven't checked out that post, you should. It's really good.
I was just going to say that I can't recommend that blog highly enough. Between the two of you, both of you are so knowledgeable and you're so generous with your knowledge. And let's face it, the internet is 99.9999% bullshit, especially things on this subject matter. It's very hard to find reliable information on the internet in regards to these topics. And these two are literal walking libraries of knowledge. Go check out the blog. It's fantastic.
It's an unfortunate shame that I have such a low amount of readers for my blog. I think I got about like 12 regular readers on my blog. People actually, I know they've read it. Because my goal is I really want my blog to be like the best of its kind on the internet, but it just doesn't get any steam. You have a huge orca tattooed on your shoulder. It's a goal of mine to eventually, I want to get an orca tattooed on me. I'd like to go back to the islands and have it done the traditional way, like with my manta ray, but with an orca.
Yeah, that would be the way to go. That would be perfect.
Yes, it would be.
I won't do stick and poke unless it's done in the way that I had it done originally. I'm not going to go with some yahoo. I need it. It has to be done the proper traditional way for me, or I won't do it at all.
Yeah, I agree.
Some yahoo. No random fucker at a shop is gonna stick and poke me.
Exactly.
No, it shouldn't be. I don't think it should be done that way.
Well, listen, once you've had that kind of spiritual experience with a tattooing, a traditional stick and poke, anything else just won't fill the fucking essence of it.
Facts, Melanie.
Lots of love.
Yeah.
Thank you, Melanie.
All very true.
Thank you, Jessica.
I can hear the cricket in my earbud.
Yeah, I can hear it too.
I'm just waiting for that toad to say, "Hey, where the bitches at?"
He's probably full. I only hear like one or two crickets. There was probably 9 of them down here earlier.
Now I'm waiting to hear a frog fart. Like, oh, I overate.
do frog? I guess the frogs fart.
I mean, they would have to. Otherwise, where's it going to go? Out of their mouth? Who wants to fart out of their mouth? I mean, I don't want to have a mouth fart. Just saying. Who wants to Well, unless you're into that element of the corn sites that, do the whole Cleveland steamer thing, but we don't need to get into that.
Maybe that's what frogs are doing. You know when frogs are like, you see them, they're almost massaging their stomachs. They're like reaching around. Maybe they're moving out a toot when they're doing that.
Hey, sometimes you got to massage the bubbles out.
Yeah.
Sometimes they need a little bit of coaxing.
Oh my gosh. Frog farts. Oh, leopard gecko. That's cool.
I love lizards. I love lizards.
I had an iguana for a while. And that bastard was so fucking mean that when I would he was probably like his body, he was a young one. He was probably about this long body wise, and his tail was about like that.
Damn.
And when I would sit at our computer at home, I would have him sit on my shoulder. Well, my brother always thought it was funny as hell to walk by me and like fuck with him a little bit because he would whip me, and he'd whip me in the face with his tail to the point where I would get like blood.
Oh,
and
Goddamn.
I was young. I didn't care. I let him die. And I feel bad now thinking about it, but that bastard pissed me off more than anything.
We had iguanas. Like iguanas in the Caribbean are everywhere. They're like parrots.
Yeah, they're like cats. They're like cats in like an urban area. They're all over the place.
The first house I lived in was up on a hill in like a gated area in St. Croix. And pretty much most people have saltwater pools there because they're easier to maintain and all around more healthy. Not chlorinated like saltwater. So
what's going on, Shade? Thanks for stopping in.
It wasn't anything. It was nothing to be like swimming in the pool and suddenly like there's a fucking iguana just like swimming by you, like, hey, what's up, dude? I'm just going to the other side of the pool. All right. That just be, and if you left your sliding glass doors open, you get a block in the living room, there'd be like an iguana just chilling out on the top of the couch, just all, man, it's hot there. Mind if I use the AC for a while? Like, all right, dude, you can hang out. But the thing them in. We had chameleons, geckos, and iguanas are the main lizards on the island. And you actually let them in your house because you also have Caribbean brown recluse, Caribbean centipedes, and other bugs that are really nasty. And the lizards were your organic insecticide.
Yeah.
It was nothing to wake up in the morning and there'd be like a gecko hanging on the ceiling. You might hear the little tippy taps of an iguana like running down the hallway and shit.
I think that's adorable. I wouldn't be bothered by that.
No,
Yeah, me neither. Me neither.
They just hung out all over. Now, what you did have to watch out for in the Caribbean, though, in St. Croix, were the mongoose. Mongoose are not mongoose are not indigenous to Caribbean islands. They're indigenous to Africa. But here's what happened during the golden pigs, donkeys, wild pigs, wild donkeys, and wild mongoose became a thing because during the golden age of sail, when the Dutch, the French, Spanish, and English were first settling the Caribbean, they brought pigs for food, donkeys for hauling stuff, and the mongoose would end up getting on the boats when they were tied up, like in North Africa, whatever, and they'd end up keeping the mongoose because the mongoose would take care of like rats and shit.
Yeah,
I knew that.
But here's what the problem: when they came over the islands, sometimes the pigs would get loose, or they would set them loose so that the pigs would breed and they would come back and have more pigs to eat. Well, the pigs over generations and generations actually went feral, grew fur, and now they're feral. The wild donkeys, sometimes they'd have too much cargo, too much weight, so when they would sail back, they'd just leave the donkeys on the island, and the mongoose would get off. So in the U.S. Virgin Islands, you've got wild pigs, wild donkeys on all the islands, and specifically in St. Croix, you have mongoose. Now, what's mongooses' natural predator? Like cobras and shit. Mongoose do not fuck around.
Right.
So mongoose are very like angry little fuckers.
Yeah, they are.
Quick little funny story. One day I had done a few laps in the pool. I get out, I go inside to make a drink, whatever. One of my roommates was also the Coast Guard. He's going to go take out the trash. Next thing I know, I hear him going, oh, get away. He was like this big old beefy guy, but animals scared him, whatever. Next thing I look out the sliding glass door and I see him run across like, it was like something out of a movie. He's like, ah, and I see a little mongoose going,
oh my God.
He fucking jumps in the pool. I go up there just casually with my drink, like, you all right, man? And I see the mongoose. I'm all, hey, I didn't know if you know this, but mongoose can swim. I swear the mongoose like looked at me like it fucking jumped in the water. And he is like flapping like a fat kid with a fucking water weenie. And he couldn't get out of the pool fast enough. And that mongoose was like coming after him. And he finally ran into the house and shut the door. And I'm just still out there with the mongoose, just like.
That is like something out of a fucking movie, for
I
sure.
wish he'd gotten him, that would have been kind of cool. Like him running around like a mongoose clamped onto his butthole or something,
I love that. That's like National Lampoon's energy. That's what that has.
Yeah, but mongoose, they don't fuck around, man. And they're actually, unfortunately, technically an invasive species. Yeah. But over like the last 300-400 years, they've actually adapted to where they're now balanced with the ecosystem there.
Like,
that makes sense.
When we were having that conversation about the toad, I noticed that Ken had brought up having toads where he's at, and they're an invasive species. They have the cane toad there, and they're a horrible little bastard. Because
there's an invasive species of toad also in Australia. I don't remember what it's called, but it's pretty bad there.
I think there's the cane toad is in Australia too.
Is it the cane?
Yeah, I think it's the cane toad.
That would surprise me because that's in that vicinity, that region or whatever.
And they can't, like, there's no natural predator to them because of the fucking poison that they give off when something tries to eat them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you do? I got an idea. I know how you can resolve this in 1 month. You turn it into an internet trend. Hear me out. Cane toad eating, like the Tide Pod shit.
You killed two birds with one stone with this shit.
I know.
Rush to all these places. Post TikTok videos of them biting the heads off of a cane toad, and you take care of two problems: stupidity and invasive species. Well, the other one's an invasive species also, but that's my idea that I'm pitching to the world.
It's brilliant. It is.
Here's my question though. What happens when the morons become immune to the poison? Like, what if they Wesley from Princess Bride, like with the iocane?
And some other invasive species.
Okay.
There's plenty of them.
Antarctica and make it a live stream like it's Lord of the Flies. Charge pay-per-view.
Beard's gonna have a heart attack. Shit, how long's it been? Like 2 hours now? Damn.
Hour and 42 minutes.
Yeah, hour and 40 minutes.
The fucked up part is if you actually did that, there would be fucking idiots that would do it.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna cover us legally now. This is anecdotal.
It's all hypothetical.
Some fucking moron's gonna do this. I'm like, don't do it.
What are you gonna do? Sue me for the millions of dollars I don't have?
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, what's going on, Moose?
What's up, Moose?
What are they gonna do? Sue me for my estate? Yeah, you can have my $36,000 of debt.
Yeah, you can get rid of a lot of fucking retarded people if you just make something dangerous a trend.
I thought the Tide Pods were going to do it, but apparently that didn't work.
Well, the reason why the Tide Pods didn't work is because most of these kids are eating double deep fried chemical liquid shit that comes out of a fucking microwave package. So they are naturally immune to soap. However, a highly venomous toxin on a toad, yeah, that's a dead ringer right there. It's not like these kids are like, it's not like these kids going around like Riddick in the Riddick movie, the last one where he was abandoned on that fucking planet. He comes across that creature and he slowly overcomes community. That's not happening. These kids are going to go straight from fucking being a double deep fried dipshit on TikTok to licking a fucking poisonous toad. And done.
A double deep fried dipshit. I'm using that.
That's a good one. I like that. I like that too.
I hashtag double deep fried dipshit. I'm telling you, make it a
I've
thing.
used that one for years.
Oh,
I love it.
man.
Love it.
You're welcome to use it.
I appreciate it because that's brilliant.
These kids' normal diet make them like Keith Richards, although Keith Richards has class. These kids are all ass. They don't have the CL.
True.
Oh, man. You know what I like? You know what I love is that this is going to remain on YouTube forever.
I know.
It is. This is a time capsule. This is what the aliens are going to find.
In the great words of the song by Brother Kane, I have no shame. I've got no shame.
Double deep fried dipshit.
Double
Going
deep
from that-
fried. Double deep fried. Not deep fried.
That's-
Double deep fried.
Double
That's
deep
gonna-
fried dipshit.
That's going to be one of the terms the aliens put down in like their ledgers of like sayings of human civilization.
Going from that
I'm
to licking
gonna
a poisonous
push out
toad.
space
That,
radio wave
God,
as
that's
it goes across the interwebs.
Or they're going to, like, aliens, because of how this conversation has gone tonight, they're going to think frogs and toads were a way bigger thing than they are. It's like, they're like, okay, so they used to dress up like toads and shit in the corner. They used to eat poisonous toads. Like, these were a frog-loving people.
Alien anthropologists will be making notes like these frogs were clearly some kind of deity.
Yeah.
Like they brought them into their homes. They gave them votive offerings. They allowed them to defecate on their floors. They would sacrifice themselves by eating one in the name of the great toad god.
Also, the frogs would massage out their own farts. We can't leave that out. That's an important piece of zoological information.
I'm telling you, that's like some fucking ancient Aztec shit where people would actually give themselves tribute to sacrifice of the gods. They're gonna be like, so there were these Mayans, then a few hundred years went by, and then there's these kids that are like got the brain capacity of a microwave that are eating toads.
I volunteer as tribute. Fuck me.
Melanie, you're getting double deep fried dipshit tattooed on your body? That'd be a good shirt.
Don't get that tattooed on you. Good God.
I want to convince someone to get tattooed on their chest, I was stupid with an arrow. What? That would be funny.
It depends.
Yeah, it depends.
Because I feel like if you were the guy he's standing next to, he wouldn't be okay with that.
Well, I mean,
Well, you have no shame. So
if you're hanging out with someone that has that mental capacity, then you probably are deserving of standing in that spot.
I brought this on myself.
valid. Very valid point.
I asked for this. It's been spoken by the Sea Wolf God, I must.
Oh my God.
Oh, fuck. The sea wolf.
Well, Beard, I might have to hop off of here.
Yeah, I was just thinking that it's probably about that time.
I mean, no pressure on you. I'm just saying, you know, I gotta bounce.
Nope, no problem. We've gone over the allotted time here anyway.
We've gone over a lot.
We've covered all the big topics. We've talked inbreeding, shitting in corners. We touched the stars tonight, everyone.
Oh, God.
Chasing half-naked men in the pools, you know.
That story is legendary, though.
Yes.
That is fantastic. Thank you again, Beard, for having us back. This was fucking awesome. I had so much fun.
It is always a joy to have you three here, and I'm sure it won't be the last time.
No, it definitely won't.
Definitely not.
I appreciate you guys.
Sandy, do you gotta take a shit?
Aw.
So thanks everybody that came to hang out with us tonight. Listen to the
The
way
trauma.
out of left field conversation.
the pure poetry that you've been blessed enough to hear.
If you need a therapist, I have good references.
I was gonna say, if you didn't therapy before, you'll need it now. You're welcome.
Also, one last time, 50% off.
Yes, 50% off Ulfsvaettrcraftsman Seawolf Etsy shop. Go check out his bio link. People he's on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook.
He is. And I'm going to add his website, his Etsy, and Witch's Brew.
I'm trying to point the right way, but this fucking thing's all reversing shit.
I'm going to add all 3 of those websites to the description. So if you can come back and check it out, you can also follow all 3 of these guys on, well, 2 guys, 1 girl, on Instagram. If you have TikTok, if you really want to, I mean, fuck TikTok in my personal opinion now, but
Yeah.
Instagram at least.
Guys, she shamelessly burps. It's okay.
Yeah.
So, and all their names are the exact same as what they say on here. Ulfsvaettrcraftsman, Witch's Brew, and Witch's Brew is with a 1, not an I.
Yes. Yes.
And Justinterpret.
Number 1.
So give them a follow. Appreciate you all hanging out with us tonight, enjoying the conversation. Thanks to you guys coming to hang out with me tonight.
Thank you. Thank you, Barry.
My pleasure, man.
Seriously.
Thank you. This was awesome.
I'm gonna finish getting drunk.
You do that.
So until the next episode of the Longhouse, I appreciate it.
Nom 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 nom.